Today's video is a quick video showing you how to use the Bloc Loc half square triangle trimming ruler. This is the 4.5 inch size, so you can trim down your half square triangles to 4.5 inch or less. So this is the ruler. You can see you've got your standard markings, but you've also got this here. So on the top, it's completely flat, but underneath you've got this ridge. And this ridge here fits over the top of your seam and locks it in place. It also means that your seam runs diagonally right exactly into the corners where you need it to get exact trimming. This does mean, however, that you cannot use this ruler if you press your seams open. You have to press your seams to the side so you have your seam for that to lock onto there. Let me show you how it works. So I've got a half square triangle here. I've pressed my seams to the dark side and I'm ready to trim it. So what you need to do is lock the Bloc Loc ruler here onto your seam. Now it will fit like that, but when I trim it, that line won't be where I want to be. So do be careful when fitting it on your seam that you're fitting it on the correct way. We want it so that once it's locked onto that seam, those points run with our seam. So we're going to lock it in there, and you can see it won't push past. So it really locks that in place, meaning that you don't get so much shifting, but it also means, more importantly, that seam runs right diagonally through your block, which is what you need if you want to have smart half square triangles when they're all sewn up. And it's as simple as that. You get your ruler, you pop it on, you make sure it fits all snugly, and then you can trim. I'll trim this one to 4.5, so down there and across. This also works great with a rotating cutting mat because then you can just spin the whole mat and do the other side, but I'm just going to rotate this round. If it becomes dislodged, that's okay. Slide it back down to line up with the raw edges that you've just trimmed. And finish off trimming your block. And there you have a nice trimmed half square triangle block and the seam running straight into the corners. Lovely and neat. So it's really easy to use this Bloc Loc ruler. The worst mistake you can make when using it is that instead of placing it like this, so your seam runs diagonally corner to corner, especially if you're in a bit of a groove and you're trimming lots of half square triangles and you just plop it on and trim, this is the biggest mistake you can make. So it fits on like this, but if you've got an untrimmed block and you put it on like this and you trim it, that's not going to be right. So make sure it fits correctly before you trim. That's better.